And I recently spoke to the CEO, George Arison, all about it. Check it out.
Good morning. Good to talk to you.
It's great to have you on the show today. I want to talk to you about your inspiration and how you came up with this idea of hosting Grindr's first ever product day, and how does it reflect the company's vision for 2025?
Well, yeah, happy to chat about that. So Airbnb hosts a product day, and this was kind of, ours was inspired by them. So it was great to see them do that on a regular basis. We had an investor day in June and talked through our product vision for the next 3 years at that meeting, which was very well received by investors and users as well. Historically, I don't think we've done as good of a job as we should at telling users what all the changes in the product are that are coming. And as a result, we're not getting as much user engagement on some of the features. And so we wanted to take this opportunity to start of the year to both update on all the things that we had shipped last year, and also talk about all the things that we're going to build this year that we think are very user focused. One of the things that we hear from users a lot is that there's not as much innovation in the product as I would like to see. I think this year we're definitely doing a lot more than we had ever done. And so giving people a heads up on that, and then hopefully getting a lot more engagement from them on those features was the opportunity we wanted to take as the year started.
Can you talk to me more about exactly what you highlight, some of the most exciting product innovations or updates that were announced during Product Day?
Yeah, we've been talking for about a year now about how AI will change the product, and not just Grindr, but all dating products everywhere. And I think in what we highlighted yesterday, you are now seeing a lot of the AI features coming through. So for example, we already have a product in testing in a few places called Summaries, which takes users' chats and creates a summary of those chats. A lot of our users spend a ton of time chatting. Grindr generates an incredible number of chats in any given day between users. And oftentimes people then kind of forget what the history is and have to restart that conversation from scratch. And so Chat Summaries allows you to not have to do that and say, okay, with this person, this is what you talked about. These are the key things about him that you might remember, kind of as a recollection for you to restart the conversation. A second feature that we are really psyched about is what we are, for now, calling the A-List. That's a temporary name. We'll have a brand name for it in the coming months, which will actually create almost like a second list of favorites for you, but through AI, as people that you have spent some time talking to, but that we think are really good matches for you, and you should be re-engaging. This will be particularly helpful for people who travel. So you might have talked to people, say, in New York, when you were last in New York, and then you kind of lost them in your inbox and don't really remember who they are. And then you're back in New York 6 months later. The A-List will bring those people to the forefront for you and say, hey, you spent a lot of time talking to these people when you were in New York. Why don't you take an opportunity to reconnect with them? Connect it to the chat summaries, telling you, hey, these are the things you talked to them about last time you were in New York. So those are two things I'm super psyched about. The A-List concept, the founder of Grindr, Joel Simkai, wanted back in 2009, but obviously technology was not there at that point, and now we can actually do that, and I'm really psyched about that.
And Grindr has always been the platform for LGBTQ plus connections. So how do these 2025 releases further promote inclusivity and accessibility for your global audience?
Yeah, Grindr is almost completely and exclusively a product for gay and bi men. That's kind of the core user base. Probably over 98% of our users fall into that category of people. And we're in 190 countries, and territories all over the world. There are very few places in the world where Grindr does not operate. I think a core thing for me since I joined Grindr nearly 2.5 years ago now has been that our users really love the product. They spend over an hour with the product a day. But we are not as world-class of a product as we can be, given where technology is today. And so we've been on a big push to try to get our tech stack to a place where we could actually innovate in ways that would make us a world-class product, to be a product that our users deserve. And that's very much what I think this year we'll strive to do. Now, I don't think we'll be done in 1 year. This will be a multi-year project. But we want a product that feels as good as any other great product out there, because our users really deserve that, and they've not really had that from us or from anybody else, frankly, ever before.
And George, safety and privacy, they're obviously top priorities in the digital space. What advancements are being introduced to protect users while fostering an authentic connection?
Yeah, totally. So privacy is something that really matters to Grindr users in a really significant way. This is not to say that other products don't care about privacy. Obviously they do, but for us it's a particularly important criteria. And the reason is that we have people who live in places that are still very challenging for people who are gay or bi, right? Governments that are either legally making your life miserable or come after you even though legally there are no challenges to you being gay, but it's very hard to be accepted, or you live around people who make it really hard for you to be accepted. And that's true, obviously, in a lot of places outside of the United States where there are laws that are targeting gay people, right? In over 60 countries, it's still illegal to be gay, or even in the U.S. or other developed countries where there are communities where people still feel like they have to be discreet about themselves for a variety of reasons. And so we really focus on privacy, and everything we do is privacy first. So, for example, with any of the AI features that I talked about, we give users a lot of control about whether those features are allowed or not allowed. Or in location sense, if you don't want to have your location shown, in our unlimited tier, we allow you to actually not show your location if that's what you prefer to do, while still surfing the grid if that's what you prefer. And so privacy is really critical to Grindr and will always continue to be something that we really strive to focus on. And it's something that our users really care about in a very significant way.
Well, thank you so much, George. It was a pleasure having you on the show today. We look forward to having you back on soon.